are listening to the most original talk radio station anywhere. We are LA Talk Radio at latalkradio.com.
You're listening to Question Reality. Question Reality with Priscilla Leona. Priscilla Leona. Only on LA Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome to Question Reality. I'm your host, Priscilla Leona, and we are coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. Our show is broadcast every Sunday from 5 p.m. to 5:50 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If this is your first time tuning in, our show will help you to question your career reality. Now, this show is for you if you are considering a career in the entertainment industry. Our guests will provide you with advice and resource information on how and what it takes to successfully pursue a career in show business. Our guests work in various professions and are at different stages of the career. So that means that we will definitely have someone on the show who will be able to help you with your show business career questions. If you want to check out our past guests, read their bios, listen to their interview instantly, or download any one of the shows, go to the LA Talk Radio website, latalkradio.com, click on the link at the top of the website that says Channel 1, scroll down and look for the graphic of our show, Question Reality, and you click that little link, and that takes you directly to our archive page. And the archive page is where you can view the list of all of our past guests from 2008 until today. So very exciting shows. You got to check all of them out. They're just wonderful shows. Such great information for career advice. We have various types of guests. We have Oscar winners, Tony winners, Emmy Award winners. We have people that are beginning, a couple. We like to cover the gamut, beginning, intermediate, and advanced. So you're going to find all different types of people who are singers, dancers, models, musicians, actors, producers, directors, behind the scene people like script supervisors, production assistants. So we got the careers covered. If you want to know what it's like to work in another, not necessarily on the front lines, we have wonderful careers behind the scenes, which I always get really excited about, because sometimes people come here and they come to pursue a dream and be a celebrity and walk the red carpet and get the awards. But sometimes, let's just be honest, it doesn't always work out. So you don't have to go home with your tail tucked behind your legs. You can actually find a rewarding career behind the scenes. So lots of cool jobs, really good jobs. So we cover that for you. Now, our shows are also available for download on iTunes under the podcast section and also on Stitcher.com. So again, just type in Question Reality Radio in the search box, and that is where you're going to find us. Now, we have another website, which is our official Question Reality website, and this is where we have all of the guests that are going to be on in the future. So we've got latalkradio.com for the archive, but if you want to know who's going to be coming up, go to questionrealityradioshow.com, questionrealityradioshow.com, and that is where all of our future guests are listed. Now, if you enjoy listening to our show, which I'm sure you do, and you believe in our goals to inspire and motivate and educate people on what it takes to successfully pursue a career in the entertainment industry, I am going to ask you guys to consider helping to support our financial efforts. We don't like to play a lot of advertisements. I don't, at least. I don't think anybody loves advertisements. I mean, they're a necessity of life in my business, but to keep those at a minimum, we ask that you help us by going to our website, which is questionrealityradioshow.com, and clicking on our Amazon.com link to order all of your Amazon products. So if you just want to order some incense or a gravy bowl or something really big like a 68-inch television, go to our website, click on the Amazon link, and then it just does something. God knows what it does behind the scenes. There's some bots going on. I don't know. But it'll take you to an Amazon page, and then you can just proceed as normal. And then we get, I don't know, a couple cents here and there. It all helps in the end. So if that's something that you want to help us with, that would be fantastic. It'll just help us, again, so much for the ongoing financial efforts to keep the show on the air. Yay! So we thank you for that. Now, we have, as always, wonderful guest today. Very excited to have her on the show. Her name is Denise Gossett, and she is an actress. And I want you to go to her website now. She has so many of them, but I'm going to run them all off to you. DeniseGossett.com, and that's DeniseGossett.com. There's also Shriekfest, SHRIEKFEST.com. She's on Twitter under Denise Gossett and Shriekfest, and also on Facebook under Denise Gossett and Shriekfest as well. What I love is that she keeps it all uniform. And this is something that I tell people constantly. Try to keep all of your social media names uniform. Try to do it as your name so people can find you. I mean, people come up with these whacked out names like I love lettuce lady, whatever the name is, just some weird, crazy names. And when people are trying to find you to hire you, it's probably best logically to have your name, right? So try to keep it uniform. And I love this because this just says, hey, let me go on Twitter and type Denise Gossett. Oh, there she is. Oh, let me go on Facebook and type Denise Gossett. Oh, there she is. So try to keep that in mind. Just a little tip. Okay, so Denise has been in the entertainment business for more than 20 years. Primarily as an actress, and she can be seen in the latest Mel Gibson movie, Get the Gringo, and The Last Ride with Dennis Hopper. She's also been on some of my favorite television shows, The Office. Who doesn't love The Office? The New Adventures of Old Christine, Samantha Who, Veronica Mars, Fashion House, Believers Among Us, Superboy, Guilty or Innocent, The Life of Tanya Harding. Now, I missed that, but boy, I would have loved to have seen that. I don't know why I'm fascinated with Tanya Harding. I really don't know. There's something wrong with me, but I have always been fascinated with her. I still don't know if she did it or not. Did she do it? I don't know. She's been on What Should You Do and a recurring role on Zoe 101 and Drake and Josh. Also Born on a Bad Day. I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant. Oh, doesn't that show crack you up? Oh my God. Just when you think they just can't come up with another reality show, you've got I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant. Now that just takes, I don't know, between I Don't Know I Was Pregnant and Honey Boo Boo, I don't know which one that I find just outrageous. Let's just say outrageous. I don't know. These people are outrageous. Okay. Also, she was on Untold Stories of the ER, the Michael Jackson trial on E, Scene of the Crime, and The Great Imposter. Denise has also had many lead roles in feature films, and very exciting on my end, she started the film festival Shriekfest 14 years ago. And boy, has she gotten tons of laurels and accolades from starting this festival. Let me just tell you a couple of credits that she's had for Shriekfest. She was voted number 5 out of 13 most influential women in horror history. Now, you know we got to talk about that. 2013 Movie Maker magazine voted her festival one of the coolest film festivals in the world and in the top 5 coolest horror sci-fi film festivals in the world. It was declared LA's most successful and entertaining horror film festival by LA Weekly, and 2010 Movie Maker magazine top 25 film festivals worthy of the entry fee. So that is pretty impressive. So without further ado, let's talk to Denise and find out the scoops on things. Welcome, Denise. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Priscilla. I am super excited. This is going to be great.
I hope it is. I'm a little scared, though. I've never actually met a female in the horror business. I've heard, wow. So let me just ask, because I've always thought, and that could be ignorance on my part, but I've always thought that the horror genre was very male dominated, right? I didn't know too many women who they might like to go on a date with their boyfriends to see a horror movie so they can do a little squeezy, huggy. But most women are like, no, I don't want to see it. And men love horror, everything horror, right? So my question is, why, Denise Gossett, did you decide to start Shriekfest?
Well, you know, what you say is true. It is mostly male-dominated. However, through the years, there are more and more female writers and directors that are doing horror, which is really exciting. But what happened is, about 15 years ago, I had starred in a horror film, and, you know, it was my first feature, and I'm starring in it. And, you know, as actors, we want it out there. Oh my gosh, you know, we think it's the best thing ever when it happens. So
right.
I was talking to the producers and directors, and I said, you know, how do we get this in film festivals? And they were saying, oh, there's not really any film festivals. And I couldn't believe that. So I started searching, you know, and not any film festivals that cater to horror. And sure enough, I found one in Europe, and I couldn't find any in the States. And I was like, well, this is crazy. You know, there is a lot of horror filmmakers out there. So
right.
I told my crazy idea to my sister-in-law, and she was like, let's do it. And we put this festival together. We didn't know what we were doing, but, you know, I like to say naivete will take you far, because whatever you don't know can't stop you.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, so we did this festival, and we put it up in 2 months, and it was amazing, and it has blown up. Oh, my gosh, we get submissions from every country out there.
Well, wait a minute. You started a film festival in 2 months? How what? Wow! You are a mover and shaker. Stop it! What?
It was
how
crazy.
Did you do it? I mean, like, what are the steps that you
Well,
start a film festival? How did you do it?
Well, okay, because we're starting with no money. The first thing I was like, well, we need a website. Of course, we started researching film festivals, and I had been to a few, and so I knew that we needed a website, and I knew we needed a great place to screen the films, because if we were going to do it, we have to do it professional. None of this lame stuff. I hear horror stories all the time where people show up to a film festival, and it's like, you know, a pull-up screen in a gymnasium. I've even heard of some where they roll in a TV to a hotel room, and this is a film festival.
Whoa.
Yeah. So we got our website. We found a friend of hers wanted to do it for free, so he got the website up. We started, you know, kind of researching festivals and how it was done, and we got some judges, and we started judging the films. And because we did it so quickly, we only got 45 submissions. It was quick. But, you know, honestly, we probably couldn't have handled more than that, because we didn't really know what we were doing.
Right. Wow.
So we put this festival on. We ended up picking the best ones. We screened over a weekend, and I think it was like a Saturday night and a Sunday night. We did an award show. We got trophies. I mean, we did the whole deal. And people were like, wow, this was very professionally run. And then word spread.
How did you, because I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they had the website without a box back then. How did you get submissions?
Okay, what I did was, I'm thinking horror, I'm thinking filmmaking, screenwriting, because we have a screenwriting competition too. So I started contacting all these sites and asking, could we exchange links? and people were open to it. So then that started getting the word out, and that's literally how it happened. And in 14 years, we have never paid for advertising.
What?
Yeah, can you believe it?
God, that's amazing.
I know.
What? Wow. Well, I think it's just such a huge audience for horror film. I think it's almost as big as sci-fi. I'm not sure, but
it's huge. It's crazy because I've like traveled to other states, visiting family, and I'll meet someone and they'll ask me what I do, and I tell them, and they're like, "Oh my God, I love horror. What festival?" And I'll tell them, and they've heard of it.
Wow. Yeah.
I know, it's really weird.
Now what? When you did your first, I don't know how many. I went on your IMDb, but it was last minute. I couldn't see all your stuff. You have a long list of credits.
Right.
How do you rate on the Scream Queen scale?
How do I rate? Well,
Yes.
What's funny is I'm not really a Scream Queen because I've only done a couple of horror films, and
okay,
but
so
people
you like
tend
the
to
genre of horror. So it's not necessarily you're obsessed and you've done all these horror movies and you do the screaming. I see. Mm-hmm.
Right. It was just something I've always enjoyed horror, and then when the idea came, like I said, it kind of, when I started, I thought, oh, this would be a fun little hobby. Who knew? It blew up.
That's amazing that you say a fun little hobby, because that's something I recommend all the time. If you're not sure what you want to do as a career, take the things that you like to do as a hobby, because you never know if that's going to end up being a moneymaker, a great career for you. So
exactly,
that's what I suggest. Now, you have been voted 5 out of 13 most influential women in horror history, which is a pretty big title and honor. So please don't feel like you're being a braggart, because these questions are meant to be informative, inspirational, and motivational to my audience. So I want you to tell us how that title came to be bestowed upon you, and how other females could also have an opportunity to have that title as an influential woman in horror history.
Priscilla, honestly, when I saw it came out, I thought, this has got to be a joke. What is this? Because on that list is people like Anne Rice. Yeah, so I'm going, what the heck? This has got to be a joke. And I never, for the longest time, I had no idea, is this real? Is this not real? And people were talking about it, and I'm like, who did this? And then, because it was all over the web, on Chicago Now, and all these different websites had posted it, and somehow I stumbled on somebody, and I said, how did this come about? And it was horror.com and all these different horror sites that had done it. And she said that, well, we were sitting around a board table, and we were all talking about the most influential women in horror, and your name kept coming up because you've helped so many filmmakers and screenwriters. And I was like, you're kidding. And she's like, no. And it just kept coming up, and so we knew you had to be on the list.
Wow. See that? Your niceness has paid off. Your kindness to strangers has paid off. Well, what do you think that other females, if they want to kind of get a title and be influential as well, what do they need to do to get on this list or to be influential?
Honestly, Priscilla, I think the key to this industry is to help others. Mm-hmm. I really do. I never went into this festival with, oh, maybe I'll get roles out of this. Have I been offered some? Yes. Have I turned them down? Mostly. So that's really not what I do it for. But I believe if someone is going to entrust me with their baby, their film, or their screenplay, that I better take darn good care of that baby. And so whether it gets in the festival or not, I still try to send out referrals. I've helped people get agents and distribution, and, I've hooked people together, like a producer needs a director or whatever. I've, done this sort of thing, and I enjoy it. And I think that's why it happened, because I wasn't trying, if that makes sense.
Yes, it most certainly does. This is what I tell people all the time, because if you stress yourself out trying to force something, a square into a circle, it's just not going to work. Now,
exactly.
Your 2013 Movie Maker magazine voted your festival coolest film festival in the world and in the top 5 coolest horror sci-fi festivals in the world. So what do you think, why do you think they voted Shriekfest the coolest film festival in the world? What makes it the coolest, and how do you think it made it to the top 5? Because there's so many film festivals now, including horror film festivals. What makes yours stand out? Why did they vote?
I think it's that kindness. I like to always say, once you enter Shriekfest, you're part of the Shriekfest family and you never leave. Mm-hmm. And so there could be someone that submitted in 2001, but if I think their script or their film is right for something that someone is asking me about, I will refer it still. And people are constantly like, I haven't submitted to your festival in years, and I'm still getting referrals from you. This is crazy. No one goes above and beyond. So I think that's why. I think Movie Maker magazine probably got a ton of emails from fans, and that's just how it went down. I mean, the horror stories of other film festivals are just frightening.
I know. I've heard them. I mean, not just horror. I'm talking about just film festivals in general. Yeah. And it just is so sad because people spend a lot of money to enter these festivals. I mean, a lot of money. Some of them are up to $85. Yes. And to be honest, I have heard from many people who have worked past and present that they don't even screen most of the films that are entered, which is really messed up. It's really messed up. Because it's like throwing your money away. So I think there should be some sort of standard, or it should be regulated by somebody. But right now, it's not regulated, and you never know when you're going to, submit your project, if it's even going to be viewed by anyone.
Oh, I agree. I keep trying to get the filmmakers to start an anonymous Facebook group or something where people can post about, look, I had trouble with this festival. Don't send them your money.
Yes.
And, get the word out, because all they really have is word of mouth.
Yes. Yes.
And if they can get those businesses out, they won't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, some of them are ripping people off right and left, and it's a shame. And then it kind of makes the filmmaker feel bad because they're saving up all this money. You've got to allot a certain percentage of your budget when you're making a film for marketing and distribution, blah, 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 blah. And then you submit it, and I've actually been told by a larger film festival, and I won't mention this, but basically this is a festival that's a celebrity is behind this, like started, right? And this person said, Priscilla, to be honest, because I was saying, what advice can I give to filmmakers who are spending all this money? I mean, I know we did a film a couple of years ago and spent almost $1,000 with stuff. So I said, what are the secrets? And because we were entering to all these A tier, he said, first pick is always going to go to actors, producers who are A-list. If they have a project, they're going to get first priority. I'm just going to tell you now. And then it goes down the list. And he said, we only have a very small space amount that we can enter for just the regular folks. But there is a hierarchy that we follow. So I know that is a reality in the business. So if you're entering, the bigger film festivals, like Sundance, Tribeca, all these are, they I don't know if they have to, but they do. They're going to give priority to the celebrities who have projects, right?
That's pathetic. Then what they should do is they should have a separate system and flat out say, look, only 10 slots. Go to people who can't, aren't celebrity. And if you're still willing to submit, I think they should be upfront about it. I mean, that's crazy.
Why would they when they're getting money? They're getting hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this is, I wish somebody would just come along and regulate it, because it's just a terrible, terrible thing happening. Poor people spend so much of their money entering their projects, and then it just doesn't pan out for them. And it's not even their fault. There have been so many great projects that aren't even viewed.
I know. I know.
They can't even get past the first screener.
Yeah, it is crazy. And, I've even seen on some festival sites where it'll say, we promise to watch 10 minutes of your film. What?
No.
10 minutes?
No.
And which is why I have over 40 judges, because I know it's getting watched. They have to fill out a form, so I know they can't fake it.
Right. Oh, a form. I like that. What kind of form?
Well, it's a judging form, but it also asks them different questions about the film or the screenplay. So I know, yes, they did watch it or read it, and then, all those votes go together and they get, scored out, so I know who's ranking highest and who's not.
That is an excellent idea. Now, did you start that, or was that something you found along the line?
No, I started that.
Oh, my God, that's genius. Genius, Denise. I like that.
Well, I'm sure other festivals do it, too. I don't know how they do it. But
I don't know. Well, I don't know about that. Well, now, I have never actually been to a horror film festival, but I heard that they can be a bit pricey for the average working actor. So my question is, what is the average cost, or what you feel is a fair price? What does it cover, and what does one get for an entry price for people who have never been?
Okay, so you mean if you're submitting a film or a screenplay?
No, if you're actually
coming
let's
to
do
it?
both. Yeah, coming to it, and then, submit. Well, submitting, you submit it, someone looks at it. If it's chosen, it goes into a festival. So what happens on the other end? Why would I want to go to Shriekfest?
Well, it's because you're going to see the best in independent horror and sci-fi. I mean, seriously, the best. People come and they're like, oh my gosh, usually I'll go to a festival and there will be, a few really good ones in the bunch, but I cannot believe the quality. And, because we do not accept anything but. I mean, after 14 years, you got a pretty high par there. So people, the bar is really high. And so if you're coming to the festival, I would say, buy one ticket, pick out a film you want to watch, check it out, see what the vibe's like. If you are in this industry, Shriekfest is an awesome way to network. I've set the festival so that everyone is constantly engaging each other, networking. Everybody's very open to it. What I love the most about the festival is after the festival, I will see people, filmmakers, screenwriters, whoever it may have been, even if they weren't in the festival, they met at the festival, and now they're planning next year's projects together.
Wow, I love
So it brings people together, and I love that.
I love that, too. I'm a social butterfly, and I love to hook people up, and I love to introduce. I love that. That's like my whole reason for living, I think, is to just, I'm like Miss 411. So at this, do you have it at the same location every year, or does the location change? Where do you have it?
Raleigh Studios in Hollywood.
Okay, so every year, and I understand that you are actually, are you accepting submissions right now?
We are, yes.
And what do? They just go to shriekfest.com and...
Yep, there's entry form, and the first cutoff is May 1st, so that would be the cheaper entry, and then the last is July 1st.
Okay.
So it's feature films, short films, feature screenplays, short screenplays, and original songs.
And so you accept screenplay. What do you do? Is that part of a competition when they enter the screenplay? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So people can... What happens if they enter the competition and say they win? What happens?
Well, 95% of all films, including shorts that have screened at Shriekfest, get distribution.
Wow.
Matter of fact, Lionsgate and, a lot of these distributors, they come to the festival to scoop them up. That's how good these films are. I mean, that I don't know if you've seen the billboards everywhere around town, Oculus.
Yes.
That is 2 years ago a Shriekfest winner.
What? Oh my!
Mike Flanagan. I'm so excited for him because he is a brilliant filmmaker, and now he's got these billboards everywhere.
Oh my God! I'm so excited to see it. That's the one where the ginger girl from Doctor Who,
yes.
right? Can't remember her name, but yeah, I'm excited. Now, see, I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
Oh, and that was at Shriekfest. Wow.
Yes.
What are some other films that we may know in the mainstream that have traveled through Shriekfest?
Well, I know that a lot of the people that worked on the Saw movies have had shorts in the festival through the years. It's so funny because, like, if I go to a movie theater, I'll be looking at the credits, and I'm like, oh my God, I know him, I know him, I know her, I know her. So it's like, it's really cool. And, some of them, like you were saying, that some of the big festivals require stars. We do not at all. We don't care if you've screened before, because really the whole point is that your project is getting out there for the world to see. So, if it has a recognizable face in it, great, but we don't care. We're looking for quality.
And what are I know that different films. I'm sorry. I think I something went down the wrong pipe. I apologize. Now, I know that some film festivals, there's a standard. They have to have of course, color correction, and they got to have some sound. But are you more apt to choose films that have that are a certain look, or what are you looking for? As professional as possible, obviously, but which ones would you not accept?
It really comes down to a complete package. Now, we have accepted features that were, like, we showed a feature a couple years ago that its budget was under $5,000.
Wow, I love that.
And then we've shown features, that have $1 million budget. So it's a range. It just depends on. It has to be a complete package, good story, good acting. Sometimes the acting can just ruin a movie.
Yes.
Do not cast your friends unless they are professional actors.
Yes, I know. Boy, I'd like to meet that person who made the film for $5,000. You know what?
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, Denise, what I'm most impressed with. Now, every couple months, my friend Leo Fati, he has a thing called Shorts and Stuff, and he'll have it at different venues. And it's a really cool little thing where you go and they'll show shorts, and then they have stuff in between. So if it's a horror genre, then he'll have some people come up there that it'll be horror related. If it's
cool.
if it's like Valentine's Day, it'll have like a burlesque show for the stuff. So they'll show a short and then a stuff. Now, I have seen several of these films, and this one guy made this absolutely incredible film for $7,000, and I was blown away. And I said to myself, that's what I'm most impressed with. Yeah, you can say some people feel proud. Oh yeah, I spent $1 million for this short.
Right.
Or this. I'm not impressed by that. Of course you can make it for that amount of money, but try making a quality product for $5,000, $7,000. That's what I'm impressed with. I think
exactly.
That's impressive.
I have so many filmmakers come to me saying, I want to make this film, but I don't have the money. And I'm like, you know what? Never let money stop you, because without it, you will be creative.
Yeah.
You will figure it out.
Oh, you got to hook me up with this filmmaker who made it for $5,000. I need to. Pick his brains.
They're brilliant, and literally they had like a 2-man crew. I mean, they did it for pennies, and it turned out really good, and it has distribution and.
Oh my gosh, Denise! Oh boy. private message me his information because I want to. Because right now I'm in the middle of producing a sci-fi about five. It's called Subject Five. Five assassins. They're superheroes, and that takes CGI. So I'm like, oh my God, how much is this going to cost? So right now we're doing fundraiser and we're doing the whole Indiegogo thing. But any tips and advice that we can get on cutting the budget, because when you run into superheroes throwing daggers, it's going to be costing some money. So definitely let me get his information.
Yeah, and you know what, Priscilla, feel free to post on our Shriekfest page for your Indiegogo.
Oh, really?
Because these horror and sci-fi fans, they are loyal, and they always try to help out Shriekfest friends, so definitely do that.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Denise.
You're welcome.
I'm going to take you up on that for sure. Now, we only have a couple more minutes. I want to talk about some other stuff. Now, on your IMDb page, and some of these questions, when I found out that you were the founder of Shriekfest, I messaged my friend Mark Bessinger, who I don't know if you know him, but he's done so many horror movies. And then my friend Peter Stickles, and I said, what questions can I ask Denise? So I'm like so intimidated. I don't know anything about horror. So they gave me a couple questions. So I'd like to ask those if I could. Now, Mark said that he's seen that you've done comedy, and his question was, how do you approach a horror role differently than a comedic one? Do you prefer to play fictional characters in supernatural themed horror films, or characters based on real people in true crime horror films?
Oh, my goodness.
That's a long ask. Let's start with the first question. How do you approach, personally, you, Denise Gossett, how do you approach a horror role differently than a comedic one?
Honestly, not really different, because it all boils down to reality. And after all, what makes comedy so funny is because the character believes the situation to be so real. They're really living it. And same with horror. Boy, you better be real, because if you're being hunted down or hunting someone down and they're screaming and all this stuff, it better be real, or the audience is just going to be pulled right out.
Yes.
So honestly, I approach them the same way.
Okay. That's you have to, really. You got to be in the moment. I mean, as an actor, you got to be in the moment. Do you prefer to play fictional characters in supernatural themed horror films, or characters based on real people in true crime horror films?
I've never done a real life person, which I think would be fascinating, because you could really study up on how they are. So I've only done fictional, but boy, am I open to the other.
Woo! Producers, directors out there, Denise is ready.
Yes.
Next question comes from Mark as well. Really great questions. He's just a super intelligent person. He's had so many. I'm surprised you don't know him. He's produced so many horror films. I bet you he's had some in your festival.
He probably has.
Yeah. Okay. So he says the concept of the final girl, and I didn't know what that meant. And he put it in parentheses for me: the girl who is usually the last living character in a horror film, especially a slasher film. Okay, has become so prevalent that it is considered a staple in the genre. Why do audiences empathize more with a strong surviving female character more than a male counterpart?
I think because all the history of horror, the majority of women were, the poor woman who she screams and she's running through the woods, and oh no, she tripped and now her blouse fell off.
They always trip, don't they? These bitches can never run.
No, and then her shirt falls off, and it's always this weak woman.
The damsel in distress. That's what it is.
Right. So then to have one that actually fights back, I think, is huge. But what's funny is it's still extremely prevalent, but more and more we're getting stronger and stronger female roles as, there's more women writers, more women directors, and I think that's super exciting too. So you're seeing a lot of really strong females now. So the concept of the final girl, I don't know if that will ever go away, but people do know it. I mean, I've seen people call their films that, their productions that, it's funny.
Well, Yeah, I mean, I love any female that's still standing. I just kind of, that's kind of a thing with me. So I love that. Now, an actress. Next question is an actress who appears, and I'm not sure if this is Mark or Chris Lilly who did this question, but they say an actress who appears in several horror films may soon find herself elevated by fans to the status of a scream queen. Would you welcome such a status, or would you find it restricting?
That is a really tough question, because it is true. Horror fans are so loyal. They will latch on to any. It's like some people think I'm a scream queen because of the festival. But I think, because this industry still kind of sees horror as the adopted child that nobody wants sort of thing. I think a lot of people don't welcome that. I think I would look at it as an honor, because I've been in this industry with the horror folk for so long, and I love them. I think they're the greatest fans you could possibly have. But I do know a lot of people who, put their fingers up to that. No, I don't want to be known as a scream queen. But look at Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, look at some of these people who started that way.
Yeah, it worked out great for them. They went on to have very successful careers. I think it comes down to talent. If you can, I mean, look at Neve Campbell. I don't know if she ever screamed, but I think she's considered a scream queen.
Yes,
I'm not sure. Again, I'm not a horror. I'm not educated in the ways of horror, but I think she's a scream queen.
Yeah,
and look at Jennifer Love Hewitt. So they ended up having successful careers. Why? I think because they were strong actresses to begin with. So I just think it's to do with
and they probably turned down the schlock. Yeah,
you're right. So strong actresses. Okay, so this next question is: do you, Denise, see a trend veering away from the horror love stories like Twilight? Is horror going to be back to being scary anytime soon? Are the vampire stories, TV shows, movies really dead? Everybody says so, but every season new vampire stories comes out. Now, I personally love vampire. Oh my God, vampire, werewolf, take me away. It's like a Calgon treatment. I love it. I mean, who doesn't love a sexy vampire? I am obsessed. I'm obsessed with Ian Somerhalder from the Vampire Diaries. Oh my God. I got a secret poster in my, a grown woman can't be having a poster. I got a poster hanging in my medicine cabinet. You open it up, there it is. Separate bathroom. My husband doesn't see it, but it's there.
I love it.
Yeah, so what do you see with the trend?
I think they're always trying to be scary. It just doesn't always work.
Yeah.
And do I think the vampires are going to go away? No. Do I think the zombies are going to go away? No. Because they're seeing so much. They're making money.
Yeah.
And it's easier in some ways for them to do it as a TV show than as a movie. Yeah. Because look at the massive audiences these shows have.
Oh, my God.
Brilliant.
Denise from Vampire Diaries. Oh, when that guy came on, it was a spinoff. He's now on the originals. They were such powerful actors. I can't remember his name, but it was the three, I know the characters' name, Nicholas, Klaus, and Rebecca. British actors came on there. They actually, in my personal opinion, they overshadowed. British actors are very strong, most of them. They came on. They overshadowed my poor little Vampire Diary people. So the producers are like, let's spin it off and give them their own show. So now they're doing the originals. The vampires, they're sexy. It's like a combination werewolf vampire. We love vampires and werewolves. We don't want them to go away. As a matter of fact, the Twilight, I don't like to see the mushy, romantic Twilight type kissy, wissy vampire werewolf. I don't like that. I like the ripping the jugular out one, but be sexy about it. Be sexy.
That's true.
Right?
Yes, I agree.
So I don't really see it going away.
No, I don't either. And, even if it did, it would be for a very short time because horror seems to be cyclical. It just keeps popping back.
Yeah. Now, how have the roles, in your opinion, how have the roles of women changed in horror over the past 20 years? Obviously, we were just talking about Jamie Lee Curtis.
Right.
And I don't know, have they gotten more sophisticated or?
Yep, more sophisticated. They're smarter. They don't trip all the time.
Oh my God! Don't we hate that, Denise?
Yes.
Seriously?
They don't always hear a noise outside and go out by themselves anymore. Or if they do, they have a shotgun in their arm.
Yeah, so I think they've become more, as women have become more dominant in society in every aspect of life. I think that the films are reflecting that as well. They're like kick ass now. They're going to kick ass. I mean, they're very. I think that's it as far as they're becoming more aggressive, right?
Yes. Yeah, I agree completely. And they're stronger. And now, more and more you're seeing women killers.
Yeah.
Which is a nice twist, too, especially if done right.
I like it. Oh, I want them to hack up the submissive male. Hack, 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 hack. Oh, my gosh. Well, let's try to get some career advice in here. We only have like 4 minutes, but I'm going to try my best. In your opinion, what do you feel are 3 characteristic traits needed to reach your goal as a continuous working actor?
3 continue. Well, you have to really want it, and you have to persevere, and you have to really work that talent. I mean, it is no joke. This is not a career that you just say, you know what, I think I'm going to be an actor. It doesn't happen that way because you're going to have to bust your butt every day for this career. Seriously. People do not get anywhere without doing that, and it's very frustrating when actors think that's all it is they just get an agent and they, send their pictures out or whatever, and it happens. It does not happen that way, at least not for the majority of actors.
Absolutely.
And I've had to bust my butt, and really it pays off if you persevere and don't give up.
Yeah. Now, I know you're from Florida. I don't know if you came here to pursue a career in entertainment, but I know I saw you're from Florida. What do you feel, what are some things a person should know before they move to Hollywood to pursue a career as an actor? My advice always is, don't you even think of coming here with $25 in your pocket. You better have at least a year's worth of money for a place to stay, gas, a car, insurance. You really got to think of it as however much you're paying to stay where you are, where you live, you better bring that much with you. That's always my staple advice.
Exactly. And you know what? Okay, I went to school in Florida, and I majored in theater, and I saved up my money for a year after school. I went to LA with $10,000. Because I knew that if I don't get a job right away, I need this money. And I went there with already have been Taft-Hartley. I booked a TV show in Orlando and went to LA ready. I had set up agent interviews before I got there. So there's all these things. So many actors just want to go to LA. If you're really young and really hot, okay, sure, do it. But if you're not, work your local area. There's tons of commercials. There's tons of all kinds of things, especially now with production leaving LA so much. Work your local area. Become a big fish there, then move.
Exactly. Don't come here. Again, if you are young and hot, come here. People will be clawing at you to get you on it. But if you're a little tore up from the floor up, let's just say, we're all out there. There's a place for everybody in entertainment. Denise, am I right? There's a place for everybody. I mean, look, it's, God bless him, Steve Buscemi. He's not the greatest looking thing, but he's one of the best actors. Gary Oldman, favorite actor ever. They're bald and they're A-listers. They're fat and they're A-listers. They're skinny.
Exactly.
No matter what you look, don't be so concerned about your physical appearance.
Yep,
Focus.
It's all talent.
Focus on the talent.
Yep, perseverance, talent, and really wanting.
You will find a place out here. Don't be worried about the physical appearance so much. I swear there is a place for you out here. If you are, stop trying to become a principal and think more of a character actor. Be real. Be real with your physical appearance, because you know that the A-lister are always the beautiful people. Let's just be real. But you can make it as an A-lister being a character actor, and then you will become a principal actor. But focus on the character, right?
Exactly right. And don't join the unions right away.
Yes.
If you are Taft-Hartley right away, don't join. Work as much non-union as you possibly can, because you're not going to work unless you have credits.
You know, people are so crazy out here, though, Denise. They are so excited to get those 3 little vouchers and join SAG and then pay like almost $3,000. And then you will not get any work, honey.
No.
Most of the work is going to non-union. If you are SAG, there is something called financial core. You can call SAG and say, hey, I want to work non-union. I don't want to pay the dues. You won't have to pay the dues. Go to the website and check that out and opt for financial core if you've already made the mistake of becoming SAG and you only had 1 credit to your name and you were a featured background actor. So, just look that up. We ran out of time. Denise, can you believe we are already done? These people can never believe how fast my show goes.
It was so fun.
Well, it was your fun, and I love how we have the same mindset. We have
I know.
Do lunch or dinner. I'm coming to your festival for sure, and I'm going to be.
Oh, I can't wait, Priscilla. I can't wait to meet you in person.
I'm going to be promoting your festival like a wild, crazy banshee. I'm going to be, and I thank you for those offers to promote my.
Oh, sure. And tweet anything you want to me, and I'll retweet it too.
Hey, okay, awesome. Now, you're also going to be in Cellar Door 2 coming up, so please check out Denise Gossett's website, DenisegOssett.com. Go to shriekfest.com. She is currently accepting projects, and Denise will take anything, honey, as long as it's good. So just submit it. We don't know if it's good. She'll tell you if it's good. She's also on Twitter.com under Denise Gossett and Twitter.com under Shriekfest. And please go to Facebook and like her Shriekfest page. And also Denise Gossett on Facebook. So, Denise, I love you. You're so
I love you too. My goodness, this is so fun.
We are going to hook up and meet, and we're going to be talking horror for sure. Thank you
Sounds
so
great,
much
girl.
for being on the show. Thank you.
Thank
Please
you.
Will you come back next year?
I would love it.
Come back on, have Marie, just call me directly, email me directly. And then we want to come on just before your festival so we can do a full-blown promotion for the festival.
Oh, I would love that. Thank you.
And also any project that you have you want to promote, send it to me and then I'll put it on my social media sites as well. This is what you do, people who are listening now. See what me and Denise are doing? Denise and I, this is cross-promotion. That's also what you got to focus on in this town, cross-promotion. But we could go on for 3 more hours, Denise. I'm going to let you go and have a great Sunday. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Denise, say goodbye to your fans.
Thank you, guys. And thank you, Priscilla.
Thank you, Denise. We'll see you next week on Question Reality. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You're listening to Question Reality. Question Reality with Priscilla Leona. Only on LA Talk Radio.